Today I can confirm that at 1:21 a.m. this morning, Malaysian Air Traffic Control lost all contact with flight MH370 over the South China Sea. Flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport on schedule and on time, bound for Beijing in China. There was no Mayday call or distress signal sent from flight MH370. The plane is a Boeing 777-200. There are 239 passengers and crew on board. 10 cabin crew with the pilot and his co-pilot. The last known transmissions from flight MH370 are as follows. At 1:01 a.m. and 1:08 a.m. this morning, flight MH370 accepted a cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. The final transmission between Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control and the flight deck were at 1:21 a.m. in what is known as the send-off and waypoint known as Agari. This was acknowledged by the cockpit and air traffic control. Ho Chi Minh Air Traffic Control failed to make contact with flight MH370 as normal. Strenuous efforts were made to make contact with the flight, but to no avail. At this point, the flight was deemed to be missing as it disappeared off all radar screens. Immediately, a search and rescue operation went underway. Planes and helicopters were dispatched with the Coast Guard to the area. We have now asked for assistance from our neighbours, the Vietnamese and Chinese Navy, to try and locate the plane, and that is now an ongoing operation. Of the 239 passengers on board, we have now established from the manifest that there are 158 Chinese nationals, there are 38 Malaysian nationals, 6 Australian nationals, and nationals from 12 other countries. Their consulars have been immediately notified, and consular assistance is now available to all the passengers' relatives and indeed friends. The captain of flight MH370 is Captain Zahari Ahmed Shah, who is 52 years of age and joined Malaysian Airlines in 1981. He has 18,750 flying hours under his belt. His co-pilot is Fariq Abdul Ahmed, who is 27 years of age and joined Malaysian Airlines in 2007. He has 2,700 flying hours. Both pilots are considered to be very experienced with exemplary records. We can now say conclusively that we now must turn our attention to the relatives of the passengers on board flight MH370. We will endeavour to do and give all assistance to the relatives and keep everybody informed. All press conferences will be held as information comes in. It is worth noting that this is a very fast and fluid situation. So we will now go over to some questions and take some questions from the floor. Yes, sir. Richard Quest.
Richard Quest, CNN. Have the weather charts been examined, or do you know were there storms in the flight path of MH370?
Yes, there has been preliminary examinations of the weather charts, and we can now conclusively prove that there were no storms, regional or local, in or around the flight path of MH370. Flying conditions are said to be very good, with visibility being excellent at the time of that flight. Yes, sir.
Jeremy Bone, BBC. Is it true MH370 simply dropped off the radar? And have you asked military radar in Vietnam or China to supply data?
Yes, we didn't have conclusively proved that MH370 dropped off the radar at exactly 1:21 a.m. That has been proved between air traffic control here in Malaysia and air traffic control in Vietnam. As far as the second part of your question, we have not asked for assistance at this point. It is not deemed necessary.
Is terrorism a possibility, and will you be looking at the passengers and cargo lists?
Yes, terrorism will certainly very much on the table, and yes, we will be looking at the passenger manifest and into the backgrounds in depth of every passenger, as indeed we will have to look at the cargo list and its manifest also. Yes, sir.
Sky News. Was the plane in contact with ground control as normal? Did the automated computer messaging system on board, that's on board all 777-200s, send any data to Boeing indicating any mechanical problems, as happened in the case of the Air France crash? Were any such messages received by Boeing?
Well, to the first part of your question, yes, the aircraft, the last known time of its transmission was 1:21 a.m., as we said, which was with Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control. Ho Chi Minh Air Traffic failed to make any contact with the flight. As for the second part of your question, Boeing have not informed us that they received any distressed mechanical failure signals directly to their Seattle computer center at this time. So thank you all very much, and we will keep you informed as matters unfold. Thank you.